Hello everybody, welcome back to my Roblox beginner series. Today we're going to be covering the very basics of scripting. So I'm going to be teaching you guys about variables, script debugging via printing, how to insert your scripts, and we're going to be trying to change the color of a part using the script. So first off, what we want to do, if you remember in the last episode, we click up here to view the different tabs in the game. Well, there's one over here. It might not be at the top for you, it might be somewhere down here. So you just have to look for it, named output. If you give this a little click, I'll just clear that. It might be over here, it might be down here. You can put it wherever you want. It's really just a matter of personal preference, but you want to remember to keep this open for debugging your scripts. Now, it doesn't matter while you're programming, but when you click the play button, it will show things like errors that you might have typed or something like that. So first, what we want to do is, if you remember last time, we click this little plus button to add in objects, and what we want to do is find one called script. You also might find it over here, but you just want to click on that little button, it's script, and it will open up a script called hello world. Now these colors might be a bit different for you. I don't have the same colors as everybody else. I actually use a plugin called Editor Themes, and it gives me different theme colors, so things might not look the same for you, but I promise it does not affect the actual functionality. It's just more pleasing to my eyes, and that's why I choose it. So as you can see, we get this little line up here that says print hello world. So we're going to see what that does. We're just going to hit the play button right here, and as you can see, we get this thing saying hello world, and it's from that script. So let's try and click on this, because as you can see, it underlines it, and let's see what it does. Okay, so this seems to bring us to the script where it says print hello world, which I'm guessing would mean that it is from the script, which is correct, by the way. If any of you guys had suspected that, yes, it is from the script. So print hello world will put the words inside of these quotation marks in the output. Now, we don't need to focus on that first. What we really want to do is learn about variables. Okay, so first off, what we want to do when we declare a variable, here, I'll actually just explain what a variable is real quick. A variable is just a name we give to an object that can have an assortment of values. So for instance, if I type the word tree, I can make it so that tree could have a value of 0, or tree could have a value of bananas, right? And we'll teach you how to do that. So to start off, before like actually stating your variable, what we want to do is type the word local, and this will just I guess improve your coding practices. You really, for the most part, want to declare your variables as local variables, and we'll get into that in later episodes, but right now you just want to remember to do this. There's a couple situations where you don't want to, but it's very rare, and it's not often that you'd see a beginner do that. So yeah. So now that we've got that out of the way, what we want to do is give our variable a name. Now this variable can have any number of names. The name can be varied, which is why we call it a variable. Because we can call it anything, and we can give it the value of anything. It's all up to us. So let's say we want the variable to be Yelp 1 high score. That's another thing. You can the variable names cannot have spaces in them. As you'll see, it'll read out. So we'll do Yelp 1 high score, and then we need to assign it a value. So we're going to put the equal sign, and then we're going to give it a value of, let's say, 10. Right? So this is what we like to call a number value. So ignore what I'm doing here. This is just like taking notes, right? So we're going to say number value. And the way that we do this is we double type these little dashes that we find near the equal sign. And if you type 2 of them, we like to call this commenting. And basically, it is text that only you can see. So when the game actually runs, the game doesn't see this text, right? It doesn't actually read it and actually run it. Okay, it's all ignored by the script editor. Like it's pretty much just there for you to read. It's there for you to add notes, like for instance saying that this is a number value so you can remember. Now, if we were to do something like local rank 1 player equals, and we want to set this to someone's name. So let's say we wanted to set it to Yelp, right? Well, as you can see, we have this little underline here that says unknown symbol Yelp. That's because when we want to assign variables to a text, we actually have to put either 2 apostrophes around the text or 2 quotation marks. I personally prefer quotation marks, but it's honestly personal preference, right? It is all up to you. And we like to call these string value. Okay, so this is a string value. And string values, by the way, can have any number of spaces in them. It doesn't matter. So, it's all up to you. I'm lowercasing this. It bugs me. So, we've covered number values. We've covered string values. And now we need to cover Boolean values. Or just bool. B-O-O-L. So we're gonna say local is Yelp rank 1, and we're gonna say that this is, well, as you can see, rank 1 player is Yelp 1, so I guess we're gonna have to say true. And as you can see, this actually changed the color of the text, and we don't have an underline anymore. So sure, we could set this to a text, but this is called a Boolean value, right? And these are basically values that are equal to true or false. And like I said, you could put quotation marks around this. I wouldn't suggest it. There's really no point, and it wouldn't be a Boolean value anymore. It'd be a string, and it'd be hard for the code to read. I would honestly just keep it as true. Don't listen to what I was saying before. But yeah, Boolean values can only be true or false, and you pretty much don't need a quotation, just like with number values. So let's try something where we do, I'm just going to delete all this. We do local player points equals 10, right? And we're going to do a little something different. So we're actually going to try and add numbers onto the player points. So we're going to say player points, God, I can't type, points is equal to, and then we're going to call player points again. So this is saying that player points is equal to 10, right? But what if we want to add 1 point to it? So we're going to say player points is equal to 10, right? Because player points is 10 already. So player points is equal to 10 plus 1. So that should give us 11, but we can't, we can't really be sure. So we actually have to check. So we're going to say, if you remember from earlier, we had something called print, and that's what we can use for script debugging. It will basically send a message in here, and we can have whatever we want be sent through. So, for instance, if we do print player points, please give me typing lessons. Oh my god. So if we do print player points, we can press play, and this should give us 11. And as you can see, we've got 11. So let me try this one more time with like the number 5. Okay, we should get 15. There we go. So as you can see, this does work, and if we click on here, it will take us back to that script, and it will even put our cursor on that line. So if I put the cursor on 2 and I click 15, it'll tell us exactly where that came from. It came from this line. It's very useful. So how about we try something new? We do current user equals Yelp 1. Okay, and we'll just delete this stuff right here, and we'll try printing out current user. We should get Yelp 1, and this is how we can test our stuff. Yeah, as you can see, we do get Yelp 1. So now let's try something a little bit different. Let's actually try to change the color of a part. So what we're going to do is insert a part, and this is really just leading up into the next video. So this will be a bit advanced from what we already know, but bear with me because I will try and make it as easy as possible to understand. So we've inserted a part, right? I'm going to go over to model and just change the scale so that it's like a square or something, because I can, but you don't have to. So checking the size. Okay, so let's go back into our script, and we'll name this part color changer. And I spell color the weird way, I know, but deal with it. And we'll just name this part to change. Okay, and now we'll go back into the script, and we'll say local part to change is equal to, and well, we need to be able to figure out where this part is. So let's see, part to change is inside of workspace. So okay, let's try typing that out. So we'll do workspace, and as you can see, that changed color. Like, that actually worked, which is kind of strange. Why did that happen? We typed workspace, but like if I were to type I don't know, lighting, right? You can see we get like this little underline. So because Roblox is so kind, they made it so that if you type the word workspace, it automatically gives you the workspace object. So that's great. So we have part to change is equal to workspace. So part to change is this thing, but we don't want it to be this thing. We want it to be the part inside of it called part to change. Well, how do we do that? So in order to get the part inside of workspace, what we need to do is put a dot and then type in the part name. So it's called part to change. And as you can see, like, you could see it pop up too, like right here. And we can either click that or press enter or whatever, and it'll autocomplete. But I'm just typing it out for, whatever reason I wanted to type it out. And then what we're going to do is do part to change. And basically what this dot does is it will look inside of the properties and see if it has a property named part to change. As you can see, it does not. And we can prove this by doing ignore what I just did there. We can prove this by doing workspace dot. As you can see, we have archivable, right, which is this property right here. We have class name, which is this property right here. Current camera, just right there. So, but if there isn't a property, it actually looks inside of that object for a part. Okay, so we can use this to our advantage to find the part, but we can also do the same thing to find a property. So say we want to change the color. So I don't remember exactly what the color or what the property name is for color. So let's click on that. As you can see, it is brick color. So, or color, but we're not going to learn that yet. It's a bit too complex for us. So we're just going to do brick color. And we want to change this to, let's say, let's say a dark gray. Oops, dark gray. So we're going to do part to change dot brick color is equal to, and then this is another special thing, kind of like workspace, where if we just type brick color dot, and you'll see we get all these different colors from here. It's pretty much like the same thing as a workspace, where it's just, you know, it's something that Roblox has added for our sake, you know, our benefit. It's very, very nice. So we're just going to say it's equal to dark gray. So we do part to change dot brick color, right? So this thing right here, and we're going to change that value. So we're going to say is equal to brick color dot dark gray, which should turn it from medium stone gray to, no, not dark stone gray, smoky gray? No. Well, it's one of these colors. So I'm just going to put it back on quill gray. And let's do print just to make sure that this worked. The part color has changed. And we'll see if that worked. So we'll hit play. As you can see, the part color has changed. And we have proved that. You can see the part color is a dark gray. And if I close out of here and I go back into it, you'll see that it is actually white when we don't play the game. So let's try changing it to some other color. Let's try let's try red. So we'll do red. So you'll see it is not red. We'll click play. The game will load. The part color has changed, and you'll see we have red. So this worked. And that's great. You guys have just now most likely programmed your very first color changing script. That is very great. And in the next episode, we'll be learning a little bit more about what these things are, and a little bit about something called functions. So catch you then.